You intro it.
Hi.
How do I normally intro it? You watch the show.
Hello, everyone. This is Something Cafe.
You've already messed up. So first, you forgot the ladies and gentlemen at the very beginning. So that's one off of your test score. The second was you responded to me by turning your head completely to the side where no one can hear you. Try again.
Where's my script?
Should be right in front of you.
You didn't say, ladies and gentlemen.
That's not part of the script. Third time.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen and felines.
There you go.
Welcome to Something Cafe.
Good improv. Episode 23, I believe. Episode 23. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, everybody. Welcome to the Something Cafe. As you can see, earlier they were just fine and now they're rowdy. We have two cats and one new member of the family. Larry. Look at Larry.
Look at Larry.
Look at Larry. For those of you who aren't watching the video, why aren't you? In Dad's hand is the big, chunky Lars. Lars used to not be this big and chunky.
Claw,
and have claws. But Larry is a small, little, fluffy little bean. And they like each other a lot. See? Hug. So now we can let them go. Wow, they really wanted to go.
Or he can just break out.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 23 of the Something Cafe. This is the Father's Day special. We have none other than
Papa D.
My father, Papa BD, which also stands for binge eating disorder. Sad. And
it happens.
Yeah. Amen. Runs in the family. Well, actually, nothing runs in this family. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Father, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Brian Dooley, Celestino's dad.
Cool.
I'm from Illinois.
There you go. That's what everybody wanted to hear. Was the giant eye on the shirt and hat not enough for you? Could it be that Dad is just selfish? You know, you never know. Yeah, welcome to this episode. It is Father's Day, or at least it is Tuesday right now. At least at the time that you're listening to this. And Father's Day was 2 days ago. What did you get your father? Put that down in the comments below. Mom just texted me, go get a high tight fade. You have my full permission. Were you and Mom talking about something?
I said nothing.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
That is like in Operation Paperclip. Dad was the bad guy. He will say one thing to Mom, not even trying to tell her much, and instantly she'll just shoot me a text like, "Hey, why are you doing heroin?" Like, but where, and then I will look at. Okay, now Mom just texted me again saying, book an appointment with your guy. I have a beard guy. I don't have a hair guy. And get your hair all chopped off and donate it. I love you.
So that was a conversation.
How are we going to have... How would we figure that all out in one day? You think I would want to research how to donate my hair first and not just like chop it off, put it in a Ziploc and be like, okay, now it's time to search where to take this hair.
When the dude cuts your hair, doesn't he then own it?
I do believe that is by Florida law. Yeah.
Falls on the floor.
Yeah.
It's yours.
Castle doctrine. That's actually part of it.
Would you like your hair, sir? No, I'm good.
You signed your hair. You signed away your hair, sir. It's legally the company's now.
Hence, I had it cut because I don't want it anymore.
Yeah, I got my hair cut. Do you really think I want to keep it? If I wanted to keep it, I wouldn't have gotten it cut in the first place.
Would I have showed up here?
If I showed up here not with my hair cut, there would have been a conflict of interest. Damn it.
Hi. how would you like your haircut today? I don't. Just checking you out.
Which is something Mom would do. Mom would absolutely go there and just confuse everybody by going there, and like everyone sees her and they're all like, "Is this your appointment? No. Is this your appointment? No." And then someone finally asks her, and she's like, "No, just."
I thought it was interesting looking.
Yeah, just. I just saw so many different kinds of people here.
Do you need Pampered Chef?
Yeah. Do you need? Do you need a Pamper Chef or a cat?
Cat's Woodford County.
Which one do you want? Because Mom excels in both. In fact, she could probably ship you a cat inside of a Pamper Chef stovetop basin, taped and wrapped in a bow. That is where Larry came from. No, that's where Lars and Mom is calling me.
Larry and Lars came from.
Didn't you just text Mom not to call me?
No, I did not. I was texting her about getting the oil change in the van.
I told you to text her.
Didn't hear that. It's not. I didn't get a script.
Well, thankfully, the iPhone has updated. Every new update of the iPhone is pretty awesome now. Like, it used to feel like every update was like kind of nothing, you know? It was like 3 new emojis and, you know, one is the pride flag. You know, Dad's going to take a little detour, and while he's taking the detour, he's going to grab his Father's Day present that we will open on air. Dad's been here since last Sunday. Today, right now, is actually Saturday, when I always record. And, you know, Dad is an audio professional. Now that we have cats, we have to keep the lint roller on us. I'm gonna be going through those sheets like they're dollar bills, and it's been a pretty good time so far. Dad and I just got back from eating half of Venezuela's GDP. That was incredible. We went, so there's this bakery that I keep passing by like almost every day called Tano's Bakery. And
that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. And or like I said that with a pretty Midwest accent. Yeah, man, we stopped on by Tano's Bakery, you know, good old Tano's, T-O's, you know. It's probably pronounced like Tainos. But I've passed by a lot. It's got a pretty cool kind of, you know, like brand logo kind of feel, pretty clean feel. So I was like, yeah, like Saturday morning, let's go get us some breakfast. And we go in there, and I'm like fully prepared to whip out the Spanish, but I wasn't expecting for the self-order screen to whip out the Spanish first. Because
but I was kind of confused because you said we were going to a bakery to get donuts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think I said donuts, but I certainly did say yesterday, let's go to that bakery. I was just assuming Dad, you know, again, I don't hang out with anybody who's not from Florida here. So when you look at Tano's, which I almost want to just call it Tainos because that's probably how it is pronounced. I know that's a Spanish bakery. Like I know that, but I guess I was assuming Dad was going to know that too.
I thought they had Spanish donuts.
Yeah, we go in and no donuts. We go to the self-order screen like in a Wawa. And Dad orders first, and everything's in Spanish. Which again, like I'm fully prepared for, but I'm not. Like that was like, I shoot me, but I do not have the word for scrambled eggs memorized in Spanish. You know, we're ordering, and I'm sitting there with Google Translate pulled up on my phone. And we're going through, and there's only 2 screens to order, and we 3 families probably make it through the other screen. Dad gets done ordering, trying to translate everything. Dad gets the mega
Super
Grand Slam
breakfast
special. The super breakfast special. He gets
eggs, bacon, sausage, toast.
Yeah. With like Spanish bread. And then Pepsi, but then that's when Dad turns to me and says, they don't have Mountain Dew? I started laughing. I'm like, dude, this is the Hispanics, dude. They don't even know Mountain Dew has been invented yet. Turns out they have just like when you say Pepsi, it just means you want to use.
You get a cup.
Yeah, means you want to use the general soda machine. So he goes and gets himself a green Pepsi, which I later find out is the Mountain Dew. Dad then gets a different pastry. I have no idea what it was. And then I start ordering, and for some reason, they probably forgot to hit a switch back there. They saw how long it took me and Dad to order his meals, so they probably saw us
reset.
Yeah, they're like, oh shit, we forgot to turn on the look
English.
At 2 white guys. We forgot to switch it back to English. All right, quick, switch it. I start ordering the guy who speaks Spanish, and it's, would you like bacon, eggs, or pig? You know. So I order, and I'm wanting to, this is Dad's Dad's last day here, so I wanted to we haven't really done it. We really haven't gone and out and eaten anything super Hispanic. So I wanted to do that this morning. And
is that what it's called? Eating Hispanic?
Eating Indian, eating, Dutch, eating German. So I go through and I, I place one order for every thing that I want them to try. So I get us both Malta Indias, which for those of you who don't know is, other than water, it's the most popular thing to drink down here for Puerto Ricans, and then typically everyone else follows that. I got some vanilla flan, and I got a tonillo caramelo, which means caramel horn.
Tornado.
No, caramel horn. I thought it meant tornado, but then I thought about it more. It might as well have been a tornado.
That's a pretty wide swing there.
Yeah, it is.
Horn tornado.
It looked like a tornado. And it comes out. She's a bit pricey, And I was like, well, I mean, the food wasn't expensive, by itself. The huge big breakfast platter,
$9
was
$8.99.
It was yeah, which I mean, what at Denny's, their Grand Slam that is basically de-thawed, food. I mean that what,
that'd be frozen.
15, 16?
De-thawed would be
same thing. $15, $16?
Sure,
something, right?
Yeah.
$9
just
for this one.
A little more than a McDonald's meal.
Yeah. Mine was $6 actually. I got this nice sandwich, and then all of a sudden it's $45.
All right.
So
the drink must have cost a lot.
I mean, yeah, it was well, the flan was $4.
We did have a couple
whatever,
desserts.
And I go and we go and sit down, and I'm looking at the receipt, and I see the number dos, the number two, right next to the flan and the caramel horn, and I'm like, Dad, you saw me put one, right? He was like, yeah, because when it does that thing where when you tap the food that you want, it then brings you to a page to ask you how much do you want, and it always starts at 1, So I wanted to make sure I was doing it right, so I set it to 0 and then just hit 1. So it's there is no question, but there turned out to be questions, because I'm that makes
a tray and a bag.
I was that makes
food.
A lot of sense. So they call my name, and we grab our food. Yeah, we got a full tray and then a full bag that they had to tie. And we sit down, and I'm well, we certainly made up for the week here. Oh man, I mean, we both ate our meal foods. We ate half of the first flan, because flan is, that's some heavy stuff.
It's 8 pounds right there.
That's some heavy stuff. It's sweet. It's heavy. And that's what I was intending on. I was intending on sharing it, because I knew it would be a lot. we got two of them, brothers, and we got 2 caramel horns, which did not leave the restaurant in the bag, but in our stomachs. Those were great. We drank the Malta Indias. I'm gonna put that video up right now.
What are you drinking?
Malta India.
Thoughts?
All right.
Does it have a soy sauce aftertaste?
Got some kind of
Soy?
yeah.
Yeah. Do you like it?
Yeah, I do.
Do you feel Puerto Rican?
Do I look Puerto Rican?
No, you don't.
So yeah, Dad enjoyed it. Some of my Hispanic friends think I'm crazy. They think I'm crazy because I say it tastes like soy sauce.
It does.
It smells like soy sauce.
It's like sweet soy sauce.
Yeah, and that's why it's like, it's not ever something I would ever want. You know what I mean?
Soy sauce flavored, not like you're drinking out of the soy sauce bottle.
Yeah.
But the carbonated beverage that tastes has the hint of the sweet soy sauce.
Mm-hmm.
It's not terrible. It's got
it's
caramel, hops,
yeah,
molasses,
caramel, hops, barley, molasses, something. I can now. If any you cannot drink that thing any degree less than freezing.
Yeah, she's got to be cold,
right? I mean, I wouldn't want to drink any pop that's not cold, but I mean, you could get away with root beer or something, you know, or like
it's
Coke.
kind of a thick drink.
Yeah. It's a non-alcoholic. It's a non-alcoholic. It's a non-alcoholic malt. Malta started as an alcoholic beverage, and then for some reason they were like, wow, like even the people who drink beer think this tastes bad. So we are gonna switch over to soft, put a bunch of sugar in it. Yeah, pretty good. I got some photos of Dad eating his Spanish stuff. I also got some photos of Dad. Huh?
Something everybody likes to see.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's just for,
here's an egg.
It's for my, just looking back on like, Dad did try this, didn't he? At the same time, you did just get the Grand Slam of Puerto Rico, which was the same thing. Although the bread was good.
Yeah.
The bread was good. Where have we spent most of our time? 2 places. In my room watching Key and Peele, Shane Gillis, and Theo Von clips, and in kava bars. And what better way to spend time? We have like 3 kava bars down here that we rotate through. And I would go to others with you, but like, it's like, it's kind of like you want to, you tell someone like, oh man, I know you love coffee. Just wait until I take you to
15 coffee shops.
It's 7-Eleven, right? It's like 7-Eleven is not. Does 7-Eleven sell coffee? Yes. Is it all right coffee? Yeah. But it's not like, dude, I know you love coffee and you gotta try this out. They have self-serve, and they have to have self-serve because the cashier's ODing behind the register. And, so the other kava bars are kind of, like just not really worth stopping by. Just for the fact of how much different can it get, The ones that we like do break that line, They are successful enough where there is something special about them. Some of the others, though, just kind of an average experience. So the ones in our rotation,
like which gas station you want to go to buy a Coke?
It's like, dude, does it matter? Exactly.
No.
The ones that we do rotate, we have Soto in Longwood. We have Elevate Kava in Maitland. And we have Lay in, I believe it's considered to be in Castleberry or Winter Springs, one of them. Solid, you know. For the 6 of you that are listening, maybe one of you lives in Florida. So
say mom doesn't care.
All right. Yeah. Well. So that makes
There's
0.
5.
Yeah. So those are pretty amazing. Really, really fun. Something, you know, Illinois has kava bars inside of Illinois' second state, which is Chicago. And Chicago has 1 kava bar.
Mm-hmm.
There is 1 kava bar known. There's 1 known kava bar in all of Illinois. It's not something Dad can really indulge in a whole lot up there.
You're nowhere near Chicago.
Exactly. It's something, what, like 2 hours, right?
2.5.
Exactly. You know, it's just not. You know, it's just not something up there. Even just kratom and kava in the traditional sense of like a botanical drink. It's just not something that. I mean, can you other than weed and Budweiser? I can't think of anything else that people, you know, kratom and kava are truly like a coastal thing, which makes sense. They both come from islands. You know, kava comes from the Fijian Islands, and then kratom comes from a different island. And so with Dad, I usually get him. Really, it's like red kratom and green / extract, and explain to them like why you like red, and then like what red does for you.
Red's more the overall just good feeling.
Wrong. That's green.
That's what
red is the physical, helps your legs.
Well, okay, then say it. No, I have neuropathy, so the red helps reduce the pain, the neuropathy. Then the green gives you more of the euphoric feeling.
Yeah, it's not a buzz. Yeah. Dad is completely right. It's a really hard sell, you know. It's really hard, and I'm not saying kratom's for everyone, because it's not.
It's just like through the evening, all of a sudden, it's kind of like, oh, my feet don't hurt anymore.
Exactly. Kratom's not for everyone, but. You know, and it's also kind of, because it's kind of like, you know, kratom is not, it is not chemically addictive, but you would be lying to say that it does not have habit-forming properties. So it's kind of hard to feel good about having your friends try it, because then it's like, well, shit, you know, like I don't want to get them hooked on it. I just want them to enjoy it.
Taste of the dragon.
I'm going to let you sit on that one. Yeah, I want them to enjoy it. I don't want them to freaking get addicted to it like I know a lot of people are, you know, so it's kind of a hard sell, you know. It's kind of like, oh man, have you ever heard of marijuana? You've got to try this thing. Which I don't think marijuana has any addictive properties to it, or addictive chemical properties to it, right? No.
I have no idea.
No, I don't think it does. But you know what? Honestly, I think that's a pretty good comparison, because not like, because when I say chemically addictive properties, I'm talking about like nicotine. That is like, and that like the cells are engineered in nicotine to be addictive, whereas, you know, marijuana is like, it's not addictive, but the effect of it is something that people who for some reason need it to
desire a lot.
Yeah, and people just get people just kind of freak out when they don't have it, which is why this is something that Dad and I were just talking about when as we pulled in was people who vape, people who vape a lot. Like, I'm not saying if you vape you're a junkie. Like, there's a lot of well put together, successful career path people that I know that vape, but there's obviously a line to it, Dad and I, at these kava bars, it's kind of like, I feel a little bit like the outlier always, not in like how I'm treated, since I'm treated, even, better than other people just because I kind of just lay kind of low, but I, every single person in a kava bar, kratom is like one of the 2 or 3 things that they are all constantly consuming. And vape is such an interesting one because it seriously seems like every single person that I know that's around my age, like I'm 21, every single person from like 18 to like 30 that I know vapes. Like all,
we were the two odd ducks there.
Yeah.
That didn't have a vape.
Every single person. And again, if you're listening to this and you vape, I'm not telling you what to do and what not to do, but shoot, brother, I want you to be able to breathe in the next couple of months. And it's just the alarming rate of just how many, and just in saying how many people vaped is such an understatement. It seriously was everyone. Every single person. It's common. Like it's you are weird if you don't have one, because I remember when I first kind of became a regular at a kava bar, before people knew me, offering vapes is like a super common thing among friends. Like, oh, like,
try this flavor.
Yeah. You want to try this? You want to hit this? Do you have something?
It's like a different Skittle.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, or people will ask me if I want to swap, which means just we each take a hit of each other's and then we give them back, and it's like, dude, I don't have a vape, and they're like, huh?
Pass.
What do you mean? And I'm like, I don't. He's like, you don't vape at all. I'm like, yeah. Like, is that so hard to believe? My friends know me now. Like,
you keep thinking everybody's like wiping their mouth,
right? Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, it's like,
yeah, and then they blow smoke, which it was something else. Dad and I were talking about how they don't really make a whole lot of smoke anymore. At least the popular, common ones.
Well, I guess if you're going to do it in an establishment, you don't want the vapor trail afterwards.
And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the more sophisticated vapes had an option. Because, I mean, if you look at some of them, like, some of them are like just a piece of plastic. But someone like Brandon's vape has like this screen on the side of it that shows like the battery charge. When he's hitting it, it shows like an LED graphic of like fumes and rainbow colors going into the spout.
Digital smoke.
Yeah. It's just not something, I mean, it gets expensive, man. I mean, the first kava bar that I worked at was attached to a smoke shop. So, I would be in the smoke shop a lot, but purely just because that's where our water main was, or that's where, that's where we kept the trash bags, something, right? And I would be back there, and as I'm trying to walk through, which is a scary thing. Have you ever tried to walk past the employee entrance of a smoke shop counter? Because the next 10 steps that you take are all right next to shelves and shelves of glass. I mean, that is like, dude, if you've never played Operation as a kid, you're going to be the first one to knock those down.
Turn bull in the china shop.
Seriously. And this time it's Celestino in a smoke shop full of decorative bongs, because that's scary.
Domino.
Seriously, like, and everyone just like walks around so casually, and I'm like,
and those dudes are high, and they can walk through. You're like,
yeah, I'm like pulling like the Spy versus Spy like up against the wall. Yeah, like I become a part of the wall. I become a shadow, and I'm trying to walk across. And and as I'm walking, I'm looking at these price tags. I'm like, I mean, how? Hold on, I want to see how much, like, the price of disposable vapes. This is per Silicon Plus. The price of disposable vapes can vary significantly depending on factors like brand, puff count, and nicotine strength. In general, you can expect to pay anywhere from $5 to $20 for a disposable, with the average sweet spot landing around $8 to $12 in 2024. I'll be damned. You know? Like, it's not as expensive as a common consumption of Kratom or Kava would be, but you add that on top of that, brother. I mean, your budget for drugs is high. And speaking of drugs, it is Father's Day. So, on air, on the episode, I'd like Dad to open his Father's Day present.
You bought me drugs?
No, that was a joke. As you're opening it, describe what you're seeing, because people are listening to audio only too.
Happy Father's Day from Celestino.
I wrote that handwritten.
Oh, and you even have this little swoosh with an arrow at the end.
Ever heard of Nike?
No, what is it?
You'll find out.
Official Mitra 9
Look
cap.
at that. Put it on. Yeah. Look at that. Make mine a Mitra 9.
That is a good little jingle.
Mom is going to love that.
God, dear God. Just leave that there for when you visit him.
He's opening up something wrapped in blue little paper.
A vape pen.
3 of them. The variety pack. Malta India flavor.
Yeah.
Caramel tornado flavor.
Stainless steel. Coffee mug.
What is
Doing a really great job, Dad. The best, really terrific, just fantastic. Other dads, losers. Total disaster. Everyone agrees that you are the best. Believe me.
We got the stainless steel Trump, quote. You a really, really great dad. The best, really terrific, just fantastic. Other dads, losers. Total disasters. Everybody agrees you are the best. Believe me.
Awesome.
China.
Yeah, made in China.
It's got some nice weight to it. I knew it was stainless steel, but I wasn't expecting the handle to be stainless steel too. That's good.
Yes, all built in.
Good deal.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, Dad can
Put
Dad
my
can now.
Mitra 9
I was gonna say
it.
Dad can now confuse everyone by wearing a Mitra 9 hat and drinking out of a Trump cup. Which side is he on? So yeah, you can bring that hat home and wear that, rep it. If Mom asks, it's a brand of tire. So So happy Father's Day to everyone out there, all the dads listening. I have let me pull up my show notes. Yeah, no problem. Whatever, Dad. You're the best. Everyone says it. Am I evil for hating it when people bring their dogs into small spaces, Dad?
No. I agree. I'm not a fan of animals in small spaces in the public unless it's a service dog of some sort. It's just annoying.
It is. I mean, I wouldn't mind if, like, and it's not even like someone could bring in like a 4-foot standing pit bull, but if it kept quiet and never moved and just walked normally around people and just sat still, fine. But like, I was at a kava bar and there's this dude who always brings his dog. Like every single time he comes in, he brings his dog. And I'm just thinking like,
is it the kind of
it's just like it's like this dog is like when you forget to replace the batteries in your fire alarm and your smoke detector. It's like every once in a while just go and it's go, gosh, I pee a little, wait 5 more minutes, I pee a little bit more, and then it'll go off and it'll stay quiet. And it ruins everybody's conversations. Like every single conversation that's happening in that space has now ended unconsensually. Like,
are these the people that need attention, and that's why they do it?
What with the dog?
Bring a dog.
Oh gosh,
can I pet your dog?
I would probably say half of them are. I think one half is genuinely just they bring their dog everywhere. And it's like, dude, why? That's like you asking your buddy if he wants to hang out and he comes over and he brings his baby. It's like, what? Dude, like that kind of puts a stop to everything. It's like, why? I asked you if you wanted to come hang out. Where in your head did you think that we would be like in the same place the whole night? It's so annoying, especially in small spaces. It's like, or like when the dog is huge, like one person brought like a giant, like fluffy freaking husky thing and it just laid across the only walkway. And everyone kept stepping over it and they never moved it. And like,
that's annoying.
The moment someone steps on its paw, the owner was like, "You bitch!" Blah, 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 blah. What just? It's like, dude, like, buy some traffic cones. Like you cannot expect us, dude. If I was truly evil, I would just step on the dog, but I'm not. So now Lars is now off camera. Lars was dying to get out of Dad's arms, and now Lars has found a random spot on the floor and is conked out. And Larry,
but I gave him catnip earlier.
Oh, okay, good.
So they probably.
I would probably
crashed.
I would probably look like that on the floor if you gave me catnip too. Dad came down here for a couple reasons. Came down to hang out. Came down to bring Larry. And what's the third one?
To get you a new car.
Get me a new car. And why do I need a new car?
Because your hand-me-down is finally coming to an end.
Yes, I was not the first owner of the van I drive right now. The first owner was actually the Mad Max FX team. And once I inherited it, it was very apparent that it was a part of the Mad Max film, because I mean that brother's got something wrong with it every week. She's got like 150,000 miles on it now. And
it's just time.
Like I'm not someone who really cares about when I need to get the next new thing. And really neither is Dad. But then once Dad says so, it's like, okay, well, there actually might be something to this. So Dad came down to grab
Car shop.
Yeah. So oh man, where do we even start?
Well, we contacted a friend
to
find get the skinny on dealerships down here.
What the hell did you just say?
To get the skinny.
What does that mean?
To find out information. It's apparently an old person's term now.
You got that right. Keep going.
To get the 411.
There you go.
All right.
It's a little bit more modern.
And so it gave us a name of some dealerships to go check out. Like, all right. So we head to the first one that was mentioned and said, ask for so-and-so in the sales management, and they'll
we're
hook
thinking,
us up.
we're thinking, okay, so we've got like a direct contact.
We are getting an awesome car.
We are going to be spending time with this dude that our buddy knows, who's always been successful with these kinds of things.
Prices.
Yeah, just the absolute Genghis Khan of discounts. And he comes up and he's this, upfront dude. He's like, hello, gentlemen, blah, 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 blah. And we're like, hey, okay, cool. Yeah, but shoot, water.
They just kept pumping water to everybody.
I know, yeah. And all of a sudden he goes,
get your DNA.
And all of a sudden he was like, all right, let me get one of my guys from the sales team. And he calls over what I can only assume to be either the first or second model of C-3PO, or the guy who was in the suit of C-3PO. Because we got this dude, let's just call him D. So D comes over,
older
dude, and he has got a limp, fierce. He's got some pistons on his joints. And he's waddling over Happy Feet style, and we start talking to him, and at first I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be good, like
the experienced guy,
exactly, like older dude, knows cards, no bull, like is gonna try to get a good sale, but also like he knows stuff. At least that's what we thought. So we're thinking like, hey, like solid.
So come over here to my desk and let's look at our inventory.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, cool. We can hit the website and filter her out, and.
So he's like, what are you interested in? So we're like, we did some looking before we got there on on the web, and said, all right, we're interested in blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, let me look it up. And
when he says, I'm going to look it up, he means, well, I can only assume like people in like an underwater nuclear submarine used to like launch missiles, because he goes to grab his mouse, like that mouse owes him money. Bam!
Oh, he was smacking the mouse.
Bam! Every single click was like this dude definitely saw combat, because
you didn't need to pick it up and hit the desk with it
because he is hitting this mouse like it's the damn hammer of a gun. Bam! And
what are we doing?
exactly, like we all modern day, like we all know that there is an unsaid technique with a mouse. Like there's like a certain way to click it that we all know will always follow through, and we also know that if we click it weird, it's not going to go through, right? Like everyone
there's normal clicking, and then there's like an angry click.
Yeah, right.
Click.
But he's like, this isn't even angry clicking. This is like my finger is going to go through the mouse.
Procedure for him.
Yeah. Seriously.
Kink.
And
the next page. Kink.
And every single time he keeps missing the link or the button, because as he does it, of course, the cursor moves because he's shoving the mouse into his desk. And he's like, oh damn it.
And he doesn't know that it scrolls.
Oh my gosh. He did not know what the scroll wheel was used for. So there are 3 ways to scroll a page. The first one is the scroll wheel, what everyone except cavemen do. The second one is you click, grab, and drag the bar. Fine, weird, but if like I do that if I'm on like Spotify and it's a really long playlist, I'll just grab
sometimes the scroll is okay.
Which now the third one was only learnt by us from the ancient cave paintings from the mammoth times, where you click up. Yeah, you click the arrows that are on top and below the scrolling bar, which I know whoever's listening, I know you forgot those existed up until right now, because so did I in that moment. That's what he's clicking, and it's not anything fast, and he's still shooting it. So to scroll down like one average sized page, bam, 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 and the page just goes. It's like, oh my gosh, the wheel is there for a reason, for fluidity, and we're going through now. Dad and
so you see how long it's taken him to get to showing us a page of vehicles. And so we finally get to...
Can you imagine how long it's going to take him to actually show us the vehicle?
Yeah, we haven't even got to the vehicle yet. We just got to the page
with
the list of ones that we mentioned.
An hour and a half now. And...
Show me the CarFax.
Not yet. And Dad and Mom had already had a vehicle in mind to...
so we had a predetermined price that we assumed we could... work out with you.
Yeah, they're like, okay, there's Dad says, well, there's actually a vehicle y'all have right now that we're pretty interested in. It's like a SUV, something. And the guy looks at it and says that one is in Alabama. From that point on, I'm like
that sunk me right there. I was like,
at that from that point on, I'm like, oh,
and the listings just said, SUV to mobile. I'm like, I have no idea what that means.
And then he's like and
mobile app.
And then he's like, okay, we can get it over here for free if you legally commit to buying it. It's like, well, no, we're not going to do that. Like we would like to see a car before we get it. And so
all right, let's find one that's similar to that.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right,
start over.
I'm like, all right, I said filter SUV. On like a search engine, there's like a back arrow to go to the previous instance. So like if you're on a page and you click a link to go somewhere else, you can hit the back arrow to go back to the menu. Every single time this guy needs to get back to a page, instead of hitting the back arrow, which I know he didn't know existed, he would open a whole new tab and just go through all of the links again. So he would like, oh, okay, opens a new tab, opens his bookmarks, finds the page, and then just goes through it all. And he's looking through all of the filters, and it's super specific. It filters manufacturer,
car, truck,
type,
SUV.
Model, color, year, mileage, and all me and Dad say is SUV. Just filter SUV. And he's looking at the filter. I immediately find the SUV button.
Third down on the left.
Immediately. And he goes, oh, it doesn't really look like we can filter by the type of car. So it looks like we're just going to have to scroll until we find some. Just a couple of minutes earlier, the dude said he has like 500 cars on that lot. What do you mean? We're gonna scroll until we find some. So he seriously starts at the top, page 1 out of 50, and just starts scrolling, and then next page, scrolling. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what does this dude expect us to do?
The hard way.
Yeah, bam, bam,
Bam,
bam.
bam.
What does he expect us to do? What? Like, okay, so let's say like we find a car we like halfway through page 6, which we did. Halfway through page 6, Dad and I are half asleep, and we're like, oh wait, that one. Let's check that one out. And he'll go, okay, all right, so that one, it's on the list. Let's remember that. And he'll go to the next page. I'm like, dude, write it down. Like every single car that we found that we liked, he was like, okay, gotcha, good to know. Then he would just go on to the next page. I'm like, dude, where? No, none of us are gonna remember this. None of us are remembering which ones we liked.
Yeah, let's see some details on it.
Exactly, which was our undoing.
Oh.
So finally,
Yes.
Finally, he figures. So finally, he filters Ford SUVs, which, dude, just filter SUV. We don't care, dude. It could be a freaking, dude. It could be any manufacturer. I don't care. Filter.
Well, they're a Ford dealership, so.
But filter SUVs, please. No, he's like, all right. Here's all of the Ford ones. And we see one that's pretty decent. It's around our budget, low on miles. And we're like, okay, let's
check that one.
Yeah, let's check it out. So he clicks on it. It's showing some options. View the window sticker. View this. View that. And Dad knows more about cars than me, so he's like, oh, okay, let's check this.
Trying
this,
to
this.
read the list.
And before
then,
Dad could even get through reading anything, D goes, how about we go ahead and check
out the CarFax.
Let's check the CarFax. And I'm thinking to myself, like, well, I've heard of CarFax
well, that's
before.
Good. We'll know if it was an accident.
I never knew what CarFax was. I thought it was a dealership. I'm like, okay, cool. Sure. Maybe Dad knows about what CarFax is. So I'm sitting there trying to learn, and he's bam, 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 scrolling through, which is such a funny thing how the words that follow bam, bam, bam is like a word that's synonymous with smooth. Bam, bam, bam. Scrolling through. He's scrolling through. Bam, bam, bam. The CarFax.
Clips. Clicks on.
Every single thing is like he's setting up like a new episode of a show.
And the whole time though that we're going through this, he's like explaining everything from like if you just landed on the planet and needed to know how websites worked to show you something. Well, if we click on this button here, it's going to show us a variety of things that are available with the car.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah, that's how that works. You click and shows you what you clicked on.
I seriously don't know.
So then we get to the CarFax. So if we go to the top and look here, it tells us it had 0 accidents. I'm like, excellent. All right, let's move on. But then down below here, it originated in Florida. I'm like, oh, that's good.
And he'll say, you want to know why? Now, boys, I'm going to tell you why that makes me a little nervous. Do either of you know why that makes me? Sand. Yeah. And where's sand? The beach. So just this is my stupid guess. Assuming that there are beaches in Florida with sand. This is an SUV. Okay? Stupid guess. Whoever owned it might have taken it on the beach. Something to think about. And he would just look at us.
I'm like, oh.
We're like,
okay.
yeah, no, my dad and I went through that whole thought chain in like a second when we heard it was in Florida. Like, that's just it's just normal to hear Florida, and both of us in our
Instantly.
in our own minds just
Right.
thinking, oh, okay, beach, okay, that
Salt
might
water, beach.
sure,
All right.
okay, like that.
It happened instantaneously. It didn't need a build-up and a whole
like,
production.
That's just cold common sense. Like you hear that, and Dad and I just both think, okay, like it could have gone through
All right.
sand. Something to think about when we actually get shown it,
How much is it?
which doesn't happen for like 6 hours, but so. And again, it's this whole weird like. Let me tell you why. All right, boys. Let me tell you why. That
And it
makes
has
me nervous.
three pages to scroll through. We're only on like the third line of the
Dude.
first page.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then he's like, and even like the no accidents phrase on it. It's like, and I'm just looking at, I'm like, there is no way he can make this one last, right? He's like, oh, here. Now there's something that I like on this page. You know which one it is? That's right. 0 accidents. And you want to know what that tells me? The previous driver was very responsible.
But that doesn't mean that they couldn't have backed into each other's cars in the driveway and, backed into his wife and his wife backed into his. And do you think they would call the police on each other to report an accident? No, they probably wouldn't.
And I'm like, again, we know. Like, again, the moment you said 0 accidents, first thing we got it.
Because generally that means something happened. Not, you bump your wife's car in a driveway. Did it total it? No.
Exactly.
Is the wheel still on? Yes, we're fine.
Like,
you have an accident reported means that sucker got towed.
So now it's like, okay, so it takes us like 15 minutes to get through page 1.
Still don't know if it has power door locks.
No, like everything that matters. Because Dad asked to see the window sticker first. He was like, okay, let's check the CarFax first.
Well, here's that, but then
I'm like, what?
CarFax.
So, like, what else did the CarFax have?
So then it's after we learned that it was in Florida, and then he pointed out the multiple points in Florida that it had arrived when it was delivered.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that's fine.
We don't got to know its freaking zip code, dude.
Move on.
Now, it took a stop in Davenport. Now, who here knows what Davenport's known for? That's right, sand. Dude, did this sand, like,
so
did this sand have an affair with his wife? Like, what is it
like,
with the sand?
Dude, we struck oil. Move on.
Dude, this horse is not just dead. It has fertilized everything around it.
Dismembered.
It is not even recognizable. Oh. We go through the whole CarFax.
Can we look at the details again, or look at the window sticker again?
Hold on.
Hold on. Back starts over.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, back as in new tab.
As in new tab.
And he exits out of the other one. Just leave it open.
Like, oh my gosh.
Because we know you're gonna go back to the damn CarFax. Leave the tab. Open. Click X. Start a new one. You just, dude.
And then didn't we get to the point where it's like
we are all dying here?
So we finally let's go take a look at it.
We don't know. We have to go through the window sticker first.
Oh well, we did go to the window sticker.
He forgets how to get back to where he can find the window sticker, and here we go again. He doesn't use the filter. He's like, oh shit, can't really filter it out. We're gonna have to scroll.
He did filter Ford.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He filtered Ford,
which it's a Ford dealership.
So that wiped out
500 down to 100. Yeah. So he finds it. He opens up the window sticker, and there's a lot of good information on there. The information that Dad and I want.
He starts not having it with the window sticker,
and he starts talking about the few things that mean nothing on the window sticker. So Dad and I,
it has metallic paint.
I think Dad and I just started on our own leaning over and reading it ourselves because we knew we wouldn't be able to get anything out of him.
Yes.
So
May I have the monitor?
Dad and I started double teaming some of the fine print of like what it includes. Remote start, Apple CarPlay, and Android car like this, like
I get it. It comes with airbags.
Vanity stuff, functional stuff, the stuff that we want to know about. And he's there saying, now, if you look over here, and the moment he starts with, if you look over here, I'm going to hit you with your own branded water. And he's like, now, if you look over here on the right, I see that it gets this much miles per gallon. Now, that is only considering if you drive on highways. It's like, this is more than just common knowledge. This is what a car is.
It's like, okay, maybe we should have started out with, I understand what a car is. I know how to drive one.
He seriously was selling it to us like
I know how to open the door and get into one.
Like he was selling it to us like how someone would sell a car to an indigenous tribe. Like
exactly. Like we just landed on the planet. It's like, this is transportation.
That's like cooking with someone and the person being like, all right, now the left burner is on.
Do not touch it.
What do we think that means? Now, just a hint. Look at what color it's turning to. It's like, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Cavemen knew fire hurt.
They knew what it would do.
That's what I'm saying.
It didn't need to be explained.
So
let's take, for example,
he is literally going through the most useless info ever.
I mean, isn't that when I said, how about we go look at it?
Well, here's the thing. Right? Yes. Right before that, though, still on the car sticker, he was asking what me and Dad were searching for. Now, me and Dad are already like halfway through double teaming all of the fine print. And Dad just gives him like a throwaway answer. Like, it's like, like CarPlay, automatic start, blah, blah, blah. Just something to just tell him, right? And the guy goes, now, I'm not sure. I don't think this model has CarPlay. The first words I saw on the sticker were Apple CarPlay.
But then he said it has satellite radio, but you'll have to have a subscription for that. So I don't know if it has it or not.
It's like now it does have satellite radio, which you can like tune so you can tune into stations. He was like, I'm not, and that's when
it's not like it's a ham radio.
That's
trying
when
to pick up Russia.
That's when my arm finally crossed his desk because I was like, CarPlay. I was like, I'll be damned. And now, next up is when we actually go out there. But here's what Dad and I both realized. Like at that exact point, we're like what, an hour?
We're a good hour into it. At
that point, Dad and I both know he knows nothing. Like the fact that he didn't even know it has CarPlay, which is like something that every car John Deere probably has CarPlay in their tractors now.
I mean, anything past like 2015 or 16
has some form of like
CarPlay,
and even if it's not CarPlay, some form of.
But he mentioned it's Bluetooth.
Oh my gosh, he's like, I do believe it has Bluetooth. Like, dude,
it's got CarPlay.
Dude,
it's Bluetooth.
Steve Jobs had Bluetooth. Like, we know it has Bluetooth. My van has Bluetooth. Dude. Like Mad Max cars in the movie had fucking Bluetooth. So that's when Dad's like, so how about we go? And once I hear Dad start to freaking stutter, I'm like, oh shit. Oh no.
Get the keys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I know.
Let me go look for them. I'm like, oh my God, I hope it doesn't involve a computer.
Dude, he was like shocked. He was like, oh. He was taken aback that we wanted to go see it. He's like, oh, okay. What do you think we're here for?
I am used to buying cars where you walk in, you tell the salesman, I want to buy a car. They say, oh, great. Which one do you want to look at? This one. Let's go sit in it.
Like
that's how I've purchased vehicles.
When the car salesman does not sit down and read us the Hungry Caterpillar 6 times, you know.
Let's all gather around.
So he's like, oh, okay. And it takes him like 2 full arm pushes to get out of his chair. I'm like, oh, no.
Well,
no.
I guess you got to be a little sensitive. He probably doesn't want to show people cars because the dude hobbles, and it's probably an effort to go look at a car.
Which is, no, I'm not giving him anything. I'm not being sensitive. That's your freaking job. That is your job
to
dude.
Sell cars. Where are they at? Outside.
Yeah, he's like, oh, okay, both arms just. I'm like, oh, we are. I pray this car's closed. And he goes and gets the keys, which takes him like 10 minutes, which means it involved some sort of technology. And he gets the keys. We go out there
the door,
and
we get to it.
And well, no, yeah, he's like, I think I see it right there, and I'm looking at Dad like, oh, thank God,
it's straight in front of
us.
And
we walk up, and he starts again. He goes, now, there's something about this car that kind of is kind of a red flag. Do you know what it is? I damn near punched this dude in the neck. I'm like, this is like Dora's dad. This is like Dora's dad. Can you find what's wrong with this CarFax? Can you see where it was driven last? Sand, correct. You know, we got up there and he's like, what I see is a sold sign.
I'm like,
what? Fuck. How do you not know that?
We went through all this search, all the pain, all the
window
caterpillars,
sticker,
and walk out to it. Sold.
Everything on the CarFax. This wasn't one of them.
Yes, if all the stuff on the CarFax didn't say it had been sold 2 days ago.
Vehicle history, my ass, because that's not updated. You know, it is owned. It is owned by someone else. And he's like, now, this might not happen. Which I'm like, then why tell us?
It hasn't left a lot yet, so he says it might not happen. I'm like, are you saying that we could like sabotage this deal for someone else and take it right now? He's like, no, he starts it with, now this might not happen. I'm like, then shut up. Like, don't tell us something that might not happen. You might not make it back to the desk. Like things are. So he's like, this might not happen, but now I might not buy a car from you.
It's still here, which means they haven't picked it up. I'm like, of course. It's still here, so he hasn't picked it up.
He hasn't picked it. Captain Obvious.
I'm like, oh, is that right? You know?
And it's like, so D, what's the next step?
Yeah. So Dad took.
What do we do now?
Dad took this opportunity perfectly. Dad was like, okay, now that we're out here, let's just start walking, because if we are going to go through the whole catalog on the computer, I would at least like to just skip that step and be able to just actually see it.
Yeah, let's see if it's here. And if it's
Dad starts walking. You have neuroplasticity or whatever you have in your legs, and
neuropathy.
Same stuff. And Dad's like Usain Bolt compared to this dude. And me and Dad are like walking around, and this guy's just trying to follow us. And I'm like, I would freaking wait for him, but like.
And we gave a rough mileage.
Yeah.
Guideline, like, okay, we want to be under 30,000.
Everything.
We're walking around.
Everything.
Oh, here's a Ford. It's like
98,000. He's like,
I'm like, that's double what we're triple what we're talking about.
And so when we point that out, he's like, is that too high over your mileage budget? Well, considering our mileage max would probably be around 40.
Generally, a range involves
30 to
a
40.
Number less than the number you're looking at.
I'm like, dude, the max, the max,
not triple the amount.
The max we would settle for is 40, and you're asking us if 98 is too over
or 20.
Yeah, yeah,
like less.
Yeah, like you as a salesman, you should be pointing out the ones that are under 40, so we actually become interested. Because he keeps pointing out shit that makes no sense to what we told him, which makes us listen to him less and less. Right? He keeps pointing out cars that have nothing to do with our guidelines, which just told us like, okay, he just doesn't know what we want. So we're walking around. We probably stop at like what, 2 more cars.
Then this is in person, same side of the lot, same row,
side,
and is like, well, let's go back inside and look
check
at their
the CarFax
inventory
and
check the CarFax.
Oh, dude, I'm like,
he's like, so we don't have to waste time walking around. Let's go look at the computer on the inventory. I'm like, that's not wasting time with hammer click.
And I'm just thinking like, dude, you would be a fire salesman if you just got yourself like a mobility scooter. Like, all right, like you two hop on. We're gonna like something.
Maybe invest in a golf cart for the dealership.
And
like a lot of places have.
Dude, exactly.
Every other place has a golf. We have the world's largest lot of used cars.
C3PO.
And they're not going to give you a canteen and a backpack to go look at it.
Oh my gosh. Dude, like, I'm just thinking, like, when I first saw that he had a limp, I just thought to myself, like, dude, he is absolutely gonna want me to test drive the first one we slightly like, so we can use it as the golf cart. If he was smart.
Again, not picking on dudes. I wouldn't call it necessarily disability, but
I am.
He's old. I mean, all right. So he's an old guy.
And
I get it.
Dude,
so with that in mind, like you say, wouldn't you think I'm gonna hone in into a vehicle that they're going to like, fits their needs, fits the criteria they gave me.
Find a car that they might not be totally sold on, so they can drive it around and kind of like, oh, hey, I kind of like this. I kind of like the 0 to 60 on this. I like how the this and that. I like how the tint on that top, like something. Oh, hey guys. He's like, hey,
and in the middle of it, he kept asking about, is this going to be through your name or both of your names? Because if it's just his,
we at the desk.
He just graduated college. You just turned 21. He's like, well, you're probably going to be the best if you had a cosigner and da da da.
How stupid do we look like?
But the whole time, what this is saying is, I'm not going to sell you a car today. Period. That's everything that. Because he didn't ask us to go drive one, to go look at one.
No.
All we wanted to do was look at the CarFax on the computer.
Oh my gosh!
And kept mentioning the whole individual versus cosigner, and
it's like okay.
He just doesn't want to sell a car.
That's the kind of question you ask once, and we answered him, and then he kept on going, and I'm like,
in between screen click hammer pounds,
bam. So are you guys sharing it? Bam! When we would answer, he would hit the freaking Thor's hammer, and he would go, "What?"
Never did he ask, well, what type of payment are you looking for? What kind of range? Literally, nothing to zero in on a sale.
Where are you driving? He never asked me where I'm driving the most. Do you realize that? He never asked me, where do you find yourself driving the most? Highways, small towns, roads, and
what's the usage of the vehicle?
And is that for work, inferring that this is every day, or is this like once in a while? Nothing. Just would you like to know if it was driven in Pennsylvania? I have the answer.
So let me tell you about Pennsylvania.
Oh, so we, so finally, we go back inside.
Yeah, we go inside
because Dad's like, you know what? Let's just stick to the filter, and
I said, how about something other than Ford?
Oh my gosh! Which okay, fair that he's trying to push Ford, but at the same time, it's like Larry, the new cat, could deduce off of our faces that we don't care about your about your 98,000 mile 2020 or like 2017 Hyundai. Like we don't care.
We're looking for a used car for
SUV
in this range of money, this range of miles.
Exactly. Space, but not. It doesn't have to be a ton.
You had 7 of the ones of the brand name of the Fords you pointed out.
Fair.
But 5 of them were over the mileage.
It was like
we wanted.
It's like
115,000.
And he's like, "Now this is a little over your budget, right?" Yeah.
I'm like, no, I could buy that one because it's really cheap.
Yeah. No, I could buy that because.
But it's got more miles on the vehicle than we're trading in.
I know. and then he's like, oh, and then he does the opposite. He's like, now how about this one? A 2024 30 miles freaking Ford something. And I'm like, what about any of this conversation has brought you to believe that we would even consider that?
Well, it was a carryover from last year, so we have to
retire it.
And then that becomes a used car. I'm like, okay, so then that wipes out all incentives of buying a new car.
Yeah.
Because it's considered used. But I'm like, it's $10,000 more than what we're looking at.
Yeah, it's cheap as freaking dirt compared to what it would have been. But
if I were buying new,
it is also not what we want. Like, look, 30 miles means 0 miles. I drive 30 miles to work in the freaking morning. So 30 miles, 2024, white, solid car. It's like, yeah, but we aren't like how stupid do you think we are? So now I want to bring something up. When we sit down to have this new conversation, he places the keys of the first one we looked at on the desk, and he's looking at the computer. I'm just kind of my eyes are wandering, and I look at the keys, and there's like a laminated piece of paper on the keychain. And you know what it says on that laminated piece of paper, Dad?
Sold.
I'm like, and
you picked up the keys
and
to
I go,
a sold
I go,
car.
I nudge Dad with my knuckle. I'm like, he's like, huh? A point, and Dad's like, oh. I'm like, we could have avoided. We spent like an hour out there.
Yes,
we could have avoided all of that.
An hour and a half of our lives.
So we are
never
at like
get back.
We are at like 2.5 hours now, and probably like 2.
Finally convinced him to look at a different make.
Yeah, but still, with the keys say sold on them to prevent this very thing from happening. Like, you would think they had a contingency plan for preventing salesmen to be showing sold cars, so they don't look stupid.
That, or he's the most ingenious guy and intentionally didn't want to sell us a car.
Seriously,
and was doing everything he could to get us out of there.
Oh my gosh, I think honestly, for me, that was the bright colored poisonous dart frog. Like, that was okay, now I know nothing's gonna happen.
So
like, now I know.
I was basically done.
Oh yeah.
But I happened to see across the windows another SUV, different make, and I thought, we've already been here this long.
We might as well just take a look.
Why not ask? So, I'm like, hey, what about this? And he's like, oh, that's a possibility.
What's a Jeep?
I'm like, Yeah, it is possible.
have
You're here to sell all these possibilities. So
Dude.
he looks it up. It's here in the lot. I'm like, I
looks it up.
just looked at it.
He looks up. He was like, all right, what is
No,
he?
it's not in Alabama.
And dad was like Jeep. He was like, okay. Now I don't think I can filter. So I'm like, yes you can. Jeep right there. He's like, oh, huh. Jeep, click 6.
It's after I.
Yeah. So he finds, he's like, yeah. All right, good news. We do have it. I'm like,
I'm looking at it out the flipping window.
why do you think we just asked about it?
I would have not asked if I didn't see that sitting there.
Do I just think, I'm just like thinking, I sense you have a Jeep Renegade on your lot. Oh my gosh, we do. Freaking Houdini, you know. Yeah. He's like, all right, we do have it. Now let's see where it's been. I'm like,
let's look at CarFax.
No. Bam.
I'm like, window sticker.
And I see that.
CarFax.
I see that stupid little fox, and I want to take that fox by the neck and
those used to be cute commercials.
No,
I see that now. I'm on.
I see that
TV.
fox. I am gonna want to shed blood.
I've seen more CarFaxes on. And he only showed us like 3 cars.
Dude,
and we have seen so many CarFaxes so many times.
Like, dude, CarFax is the thing that you, like, yeah, you look at the CarFax, but you look at the first page. And it's like, okay, cool, done. Right? Done. 0
or 1 accident. That right there.
Yeah.
Whether it's beyond 1 accident.
Owned by accidents where? Cool.
He's all you need.
Yeah. Now, it says that 2 people have owned this car. Now, let's assume that is a grandfather and a granddaughter. Like, I'm like, what?
I'm like, man, we are getting into story time now.
Let's assume I put my fist through your neck. Like, let's. So
I'm like, let's go find that window sticker.
He's like, wait. Scroll, bam, scroll, bam, scroll, bam. Down, all the way down the CarFax.
So they washed it in Tampa. But you know what? I'll tell you a story about Tampa.
6 car washes. Now, what does that tell me? Wax. You know? So he's like,
apparently it was dirty.
Yeah,
at one time.
He scrolls he scrolls all the way down the CarFax and like, what does the CarFax even say as you go farther down? Right? What? Like its average wattage for the headlights? Like, what does it even say?
It is basically a record.
No. Right. But all the important stuff is at the top. I would assume the farther you go, the more niche and specific or weird the info
shows
gets.
Any service that was done to it.
I'm like, dude, I don't care that
I don't consider car washing a service.
Like, dude, I do not care if they chose Valvoline. Like, did it get?
It's going to say transmission.
Yeah, so
that's what you look for.
So
you scroll, and when you don't see the words engine, transmission, accident.
Oh wow.
Thunder.
So
anyway,
the guy
again,
and here's the thing: before Dad could even say window sticker, the dude beat us to the CarFax. So Dad's like, now can we see the window sticker? And you know, oh, here comes Larry.
So I need to ask you guys: are you going to have a co-signer?
I'm like, so. He opens up an all new tab to go
back to the window sticker.
And he gets to the window sticker and he goes, wait,
which one are we looking at?
And he's on the window sticker for the previous car. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Like, yeah, we already saw that one. It's sold.
No, I was like, this is, it says Ford Escape. He's like, oh. This is for the one. So he finds the window sticker for the Jeep.
The one time he didn't close out a window.
Yeah.
He left the one that was sold.
Yeah. And Dad and I again. Dad and I go ahead and just don't even care what he's talking about. We just start reading. Everything looks good. CarPlay. Blah blah blah. Headlights. Freaking tinted window. I don't know. No automatic start. So Dad asks, "Hey, is there a way to get automatic start on this?" And he's like, "Well, they don't come with automatic start." So why would we be asking?
Observant,
if you could
point
put,
it out, and then ask questions.
Why would you be asking if we could put automatic start on a car? Why would we ask that?
Can I have two automatic starts?
He's like, well, I'm not sure. Like, what?
Shouldn't have asked the question.
How?
Should have asked.
there were so many questions that he answered with "not sure." How do you expect us to even want a car from you if you don't even know if it can get something like automatic start installed on it?
But it's like, all right, move on. Like, how about we go look at it?
Yeah. So he's like going through the window sticker. We finally go to look at it, and it's like a ways away. So we're just walking
other side of the lot,
and I'm just walking alongside this dude. Dad is, and we get there, and he's like, hey, we got these are the Jeep wheels, and these are and this is the grate in front. So, this
Jeep
is
door handle.
Now this is silver. Where on my driver's license did it say I was colorblind? Like, so we find Dad's like, can we look inside? He's like, well, yeah.
And like, I want him. We haven't even sat in a car yet.
Nope.
And we've been on the lot for over 2 hours. I'm like, so I want him to sit in the flipping car and see if this is the one he wants to buy. Don't care what the CarFax said. Don't care what. I mean, we're beyond the details of the window sticker. Majority of the cars out now.
Was it driven in Pennsylvania? Not important. So
power everything. So let's just see.
The three of us sit in it.
Does the seat sit well for him?
The three of us sit in it, and and I sit in.
You're in the passenger side.
Well, no. Well, first I sit in the driver's seat, just to whatever. But then I sit in the passenger side so he can start using it as a golf cart. But what happens inside of the car?
But he didn't have the keys. If you remember, we walked out there just to see if it was there.
Oh my gosh!
And opened the door, and he said, "Well, let me go see if I can find the keys for it, and we'll use it as a cart, like a golf cart to drive around."
Why? If we were going out there to just look at cars, we obviously you would not have the key. We are getting up to specifically go to one car.
To see the inside of the car.
Exactly. He's like, yeah. We're like, can we see the inside? He's like, well, if you put your face up to the window, really, we want to feel it. So Dad and I are just like waiting outside, and he comes waddling back with the keys.
The driver's seat test passed for you. You're
I was like, cool.
I'm good. I like it. That's fine. So it's like, oh, I'll go see if I can get to the keys for it. Like, oh God, there's another half hour.
So he goes and gets the keys. He comes back and he's like, "Yeah, we're just gonna turn it on so I can show you some stuff inside, and then we'll drive it around to see for some other cars, because there's one other car that we kind of had in mind that was like orange. So we're like, okay, cool. So we're inside of it and we're thinking like this is gonna be a good car. Before he comes back with the keys, Dad leans forward and says, "Hey." I said, "What?" He said, I have this exact same car at home, right?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Well, that means Dad's gonna know exactly what's wrong with it or what's off about it, because Dad has the exact same car." So we're sitting there, and he, D comes back, sits in the driver's seat, turns it on, and he's like, he's pointing at, we got
the air conditioner.
The rear view mirror can be adjusted, and this and that. Now, see, here is this and that. Here's the gear shift.
The AC vents are on the dash.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's like screen, there. Blah blah blah.
Controls.
And then
he didn't say screen. He just controls.
Controls. I'm like controls could mean anything, but this is the best. This is probably the second best part. Larry just assassinated Lars. Lars was sleeping and Larry just jumped on his neck.
Ate his head.
And Lars just isn't even moving.
That's hilarious.
Look at that.
He's a good big brother.
He is. So we're sitting there and Dad asks the hardest question this man has ever been asked. Can we turn on the screen? Can we turn on the screen to check it out? And the guy...
You would have thought if I asked him for a nuclear reactor.
And would you believe me if I said the actual screen was the third thing he pointed at?
Yeah.
Dad says, can we turn on the screen to check it out?
Because the engine's running, the lights are on the dash, but there's the screen for all of the AC controls, radio.
So the actual screen was
black.
The actual screen was actually the fourth thing that he pointed to. The first thing he points to is the dash screen. The dash needles. And Dad and I are like, I thought, fair, I guess, because it does, that one does have a screen in the middle that shows like vehicle info, but not what you think of when you say screen.
95% of all vehicles now, when you turn them on, there's a TV that turns on in the middle of the dash.
Right. But so when he points to the speedometer, I'm like, okay, for an old dude, fair. Okay. Dad goes, no, the screen.
The screen.
He lifts his hand and he points to the price sticker on the outside of the windshield.
On the window.
And dude, my face lands in my hand. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I'm like, no.
And Dad goes, no, the screen.
The screen.
And he looks down and he points at the lighted up letters for the drive, reverse.
He literally says
RPD.
Then,
I'm like, and Dad goes, and this is when Dad finally goes, and he throws himself back to get some momentum, and he launches himself forward and hits the button and turns on. Or no, you just tap it. You don't hit the.
No, I leaned forward and I pointed to you. I said, hit the power button.
Yeah. So he goes, oh, the TV, and he goes, power button. It says Jeep. Okay.
Shuts it off.
I'm like,
wait, what?
He was like, yep. It works.
Like, dude, this is all the controls, everything.
And then I say no. Can we see if it can we see it work? Oh yeah. Because how every car with the screen, when you turn it on, it always has to do like the logo, then sit,
it has to
like
load up.
Please do not use while driving, blah blah blah. So it's like Jeep. He's like, see, it worked. It's good. Off. Why? Why? This is not meant to be, like turned on and off. Like this is something that stays on.
You operate it while you're driving the vehicle.
Yeah, like this is where
it's a pretty important tool.
Yeah, and look, the cat's freaking out. And and so I hit it again, and I let it load all the way through, and I'm like, okay, see, Dad, the stuff's up, and Dad's like, okay, cool. He goes and turns it off. He's like, okay, so how about we... So I think that's when we decide to test drive it, right? I think so. He was like, how about we test drive it? So we switch seats, and...
He's like,
no,
we were going to go look at the other car
first.
Real quick.
Yes. So he stays in the driver's seat, and he has to have the screen off, and he starts driving around. Now we are looking for a very distinct orange
SUV
paint job, SUV, so big, tall hood, right? Nothing thin, something that should be pretty easy to point out.
We're up and down.
We take
6 aisles,
6 laps. 2 of them we repeated, and we finally, the 3 of us,
there's like a little glimmer.
The 3 of us see a bump just a bumblebee's pube worth of paint, and he just Tokyo drift, just floors it like how a dog would
notice a treat.
Yeah, a dog would jump at someone he doesn't know, and that small glimpse that Dad and I first got was enough to tell us exactly what it wasn't, and it wasn't the car we were looking for.
Right. The hood is 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah. Was it the same color? Yeah. It was also the same brand, but I'm like, I was like, dude, the small sliver that we saw was enough for us to see that the hood was small. It came to a point. I'm like,
yeah, that's not it.
This is obviously not, dude. It takes some one freaking pedal to the freaking floor. He sits there. He looks at it. He goes, I don't think that's the one that we were looking for, was it?
We had said, no, this isn't it. This isn't it.
The fact that we wanted an SUV was
Pulls
actually
up to it.
We told you we wanted an SUV before we told you our names. Why would you think we would just change? Oh, you know what? Screw it. Let's just get another freaking Ford freaking Pinto, freaking Ford Fiesta.
So we finally convinced him this isn't the one we're looking for.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, let's go for a test drive then.
Yeah, he just says let's go for a test drive. I'm like, okay, I guess we're done looking for that one. So
apparently, if it's a car, we don't have them.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, it's time for a test drive to see if, and he's looking back at Dad to have this dad moment. He's like, let's go take a test drive to see if your boy likes his new car. I'm like, die. Stop talking.
So we're going to pull up here, and I'm going to go inside and get the plate. I'm like, just go do it.
Yeah, he's like, no.
Would you like me to go get it so it's quicker?
Since we are taking it on the road, we got to go get the plate first. So we are gonna pull up, and I'm gonna get the plate. And I'm like, okay, fair. Mm-hmm. He pulls up. No, I'm the one that pulls up with him.
No, he pulls up.
You're right.
You're still in.
I'm in the passenger. He pulls up, and he stops. And I'm like, we aren't there yet. He says, all right, we're gonna park it here on the curve right before the exit of the dealership, and I'm gonna put it here just so when we get back in, we can just go ahead and go. It's like, how many feet away?
Yeah, it's okay. You can pull up to the door, so it's a shorter walk for you. Because that's the purpose of automobiles. Is to carry you further than what you can walk.
Where he chose to park it was 50 feet away from the dealership. So he's like, all right, I'm going to go get the plate. Oh, he starts walking. Oh, I'm like, Dad, we are dying here. We are. I'm never going to get married. I'm never going to have kids. We are dying here. And 5 minutes. He comes waddling back with the plates. He puts it on. We switch seats. He's like, all right, now go ahead and put it in drive.
And turn right here.
I'm like, was I supposed to put... I thought I was going to put it in neutral.
And the good thing, too, after you turn right, we got going, and he said, now you're going to pull out here, and then you're going to have to immediately get into that other lane to go left, and it's like the dude lives in Florida. He knows how all this turning around crap works.
The thing with Florida is almost every single road is wider than 2 lanes.
6 lanes, and
it's 6 lanes wide. So
everywhere that you want to go is always on the other direction. So I don't care what you're doing.
So thankfully, the people were smart enough. I mean, sucks that it has to. Oh, big jump. Big jump. Look at Larry. Look at Larry. So, yeah. So if for those of you who aren't familiar with Florida roads, because all of the roads are so wide, they saved us from having to go through the hell that is trying to make it out in front of fast like a ton of cars. So there's always like a good size median in the middle, and you are making at least 5 U-turns every single day, which is fine. I mean, it's not something I'm too bothered by. So he's like
explaining how to do a Florida U-turn.
The U-turn is in like half a mile. I'm like, I have so much time for an empty road, Like, he's like, okay, now you're going to want to quickly snap into the left lane. And I'm like, okay. Done. He's like, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Now you're going to want a U-turn here. I got that part. Also,
gathered that from being in the left lane.
Also, all I needed to hear, what we were doing was we were gonna go get gas because the car had like 0 gas. So he was like, "I'm gonna have you drive to the racetrack to get some gas." And all I had to hear him say was, he just said, "The racetrack is that way," which tells me I have to make a U-turn. Like that. That's all that means. So I'm like, okay, U-turn. We finally get to it, and he's like, "No, I don't know what side the gas tank is on." And I'm like, "The right side," because it says it on the freaking dash.
It has a
He's
big
like,
arrow.
He was like, "Oh, okay. So choose any pump that says regular on it." Did I give up the impression that I've never driven something like? So we park. He puts like 5 gallons in. And then he's like, "All right, now we're gonna take it around the block.
We're going to go on the designated
route
that the insurance company developed for us." And I was like, okay,
by insurance company, do you mean
just point?
Do you mean the construction? Because it's a town block. It is literally just a block. So I start the block, and 2 sides of the square down were sitting at a stoplight, and it was like a perfect opportunity to like check out the screen. So I turn it on, and I'm getting ready to block his hand for when he goes to turn it off, and it's on the radio, and song. Radio station starts playing. He goes, "There, that's," and I believe that is the satellite radio function. Dude, this is your technology. Like, you are satellite radio. I am Bluetooth. You are literally of course this is that. He was like, "Now, I think you might have to pay for a subscription." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, like, why?" Like, he does not know how to sell to a young dude. Like,
I'm sitting there too.
Someone else, like, but he's talking to me, and I'm like, dude, someone should have told you that people who look as young as me don't even know what satellite radio is anymore. Like, it's not even something worth mentioning. Like, the inside color of the tire rubber is worth more mentioning than if it has satellite radio or not. So he explains to me what satellite radio is, and he says you can scroll through channels and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And on the satellite radio page, it's showing 4 boxes on the very top that all say empty, which we all know is for you to put your saved
presets,
your preset frequencies on. One of them is 88.8 rock, 123.123 Spanish, and he points at it, and he goes, "Now I do believe that this is where you put your favorited contacts in, so you can put mom, dad, you can put someone up there." And I'm like, it is not even worth correcting him. It is not even worth telling him. So I'm like, okay. And we shift through, car plays there, media players there, SOS, compass, whatever. And we are on one of them. I think it's the one that you connect your phone, your phone to, and in the bottom left is the most useless button ever. And it says phone book. And he why, like, there are so many cool things to point out. The frequency preset, which he got wrong, and he says, now this right here, the phone book, this is where you put all of your contacts. This is where all of your contacts can go here, and and the cool thing is you can find anyone in your contacts to call. You really don't know how to sell to a kid, do you? You don't because dude, kids that are 2 years younger than me don't even know what a phone book is. And I only know what a phone book is because I used to use it to sit on when I built Legos. Like, no one knows what a phone book is. And this is what he decides to sell me on. He's like, and this right here is the coup de grace, the phone book. I'm like, oh, damn. Show me that phone book, D. Show me that phone book. So
we get back.
We finish the block, get back.
Like,
we finally, it's like Dad and I was like, let's just get to the office so we can wrap whatever. Because, like, we want the Jeep. We don't know if we want it from here, but we know that the Jeep would be a pretty solid fit.
Like, let's see some numbers. So
let's
show us some numbers.
Let's go talk finance. So as we halfway in the walk of back to the dealership, he goes, now, I just want to warn you guys, we do close at 8, and it is 7:30 right now. And Dad and I are just thinking, like, so you actually don't want to make the sale.
Another sign of you don't want to sell us a car today.
Like, you don't want to make the sale. Like, you actually don't want to make the sale because
I'm like, fine. I'm like, just
cool. So
show us some numbers.
So should we head
leave.
out? So should we head out now? Like, why? Like, as a salesman, you don't tell them when you close, so the people buying don't feel antsy that they're keeping you long or whatever. Like, you want your customer to feel comfortable, not feel like you're running everyone on overtime. And he's just straight up like, I do have to be in bed by 8. So we're like, oh, me and Dad are like, okay, cool. We sit down, and he says he asks us about the trade-in, and we're like, we already showed it to you. It's right out there. He's like, all right. He was like, all right, I'm gonna have one of my appraisal guys go out there. We're like, cool, whatever.
That took like 25 minutes,
and he was doing nothing during it. Right? He like, we were just sitting there, just waiting.
Yeah.
I'm like, there is probably so much we could be doing right now. There is probably so much.
We got more water.
Oh yeah, we got more. Oh yeah. So I'm like, we're just sitting there, and I'm looking at my watch, like 7:45, 7:50, and he's sitting there just making the most awkward conversation ever. So, now, Dad, he's like, now, Dad, you live with him?
No.
And Dad's like, no, I live in Illinois. He lives here.
Oh.
And he's, so you both live in Illinois and you're here on vacation. And I said, no.
No.
I said, Dad is from Illinois, lives in Illinois, came down here to visit and to help me with this. So Dad flew all the way down here. Wait, hold on. Your father flew all the way down here just to be here to help you buy your first car. I'm like, yep, that's what we told you. This is like one of those
like, so you didn't pay attention when we first met you.
Yeah, it's just like it's like,
hi, I'm here to help my son buy a car.
It's one of those just most awkward. Someone's trying to create this weird Hallmark special moment, and it's like, dude, Dad and I are going to be pooping right after each other in about 2 hours. Like, there's no need to bring out the freaking candles. He's like, that is so special.
It's a great dad.
I'm like, yeah, and he's an even greater dad since he hasn't killed you yet, and we're making all this conversation, and we're talking about, where I'm standing on where my life is. He's like, do you have a job? Yes. Is it a good job? Yeah. What would you say your monthly income is? I'm like, I'm just thinking, like, I'm not going to tell you that. Like, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you what my monthly income is, because I'm like, that seems like something that I shouldn't be telling you.
But you do to buy a car.
Yeah, but in that moment, I'm like, but here's the thing. It was so misleading, because he was like, let's talk finances. And he has his appraisal guy go out, and he's like, no paperwork is on the table, nothing. And we're just sitting there talking. So I'm trying. I would rather be more secret than giving out all of the. Oh yeah, my dad actually has this car back at home, and right. So I'm like, oh, I couldn't put a finger on it. And
so it's
he
goes to check on the appraisal guy.
He goes to check on the appraisal guy,
and then he comes back
and he says, "Now, tell me about the accident that caused the damage on the back left." And Dad and I are like, what? Huh? He was like, the accident, the back left damage. Were you gonna tell us about that? And Dad's like, well, it was from when I backed into my own dumpster, if that's what you wanted to know.
It crinkled the paint on the bumper, and that was it.
And he said, so it wasn't ever reported. And Dad said, well, I wouldn't be reporting myself, and I wouldn't be reporting my dumpster.
It would have been on the CarFax.
Yeah. And he said, oh, right, obviously. He sits down, waits 5 more minutes, gets back up, goes back to talk to his boy. And he comes back with paperwork. He says, all right, all done. Now, it looks like the only thing that we are missing from the appraisal that our guy just finished, the only thing that we're missing is looks like there is a seat that is supposed to be
that goes in the middle.
Do you guys still have the seat that is missing from the middle of the car? And
first thing in my head, I'm thinking, like the little, like an armrest or something. I was kind of baffled at first.
The console. I don't know.
The Pacifica has an itty bitty little thing that pulls out,
and it's like, and then I was like, I thought he can't be talking about the fold seats because there are 2 of them. What? And
I'm like,
I was like, why is he saying seat?
I'm like, yeah, well, we have. I'm like, well, wait a minute. And I looked at him like, what are you talking about?
He was like, there are supposed to be 2 seats, or no,
it appears
there is supposed to be a seat in the middle, and our guy said that it appears missing. And Dad goes, it's a stow and go. It folds into the floor.
In the floor.
And he goes,
like he completely.
How does that?
Does not know what a stow and go is.
I guess we will have our guy go back out there and check it out.
I'm like,
how do you guys even
a car salesman?
How do you guys even sell cars?
What stow and go was.
How do you guys even sell cars? The fold into the floor seats is like such a common thing for like 2000s minivans. Like, how do you? This is what? What? Missing seat? So that takes another 10 minutes. He's talking to the guy that our boy referred us to, and I can tell that they're getting all freaking sweaty because it's like, I think he knew that his sales boy was losing us fast because he kept on looking at us, and he grabbed some water, and
we got more water.
Yeah, and D, our salesman comes back and is like, all right, the appraisal's all finished, and here we go again. He sets up another freaking Harry Potter intro, and he's like, okay, and he pulls out this sheet with like numbers and like in
freaking Matrix.
It's like an it's X and Y coordinates, and he's like, okay, now the van, the trade-in, 2017. Okay, so we're gonna put it right there. Now, if we go all the way over, 2017 Dodge. Okay. Now, if we intersect those two, considering the miles, so where do we put that? We're gonna put that here. And we're going to circle that one, circle that. And add it all up, it comes out to this. And we're like, you could have just said that before you even sat down in your chair. Hey, guys, the trade-in's worth blah, blah, blah.
I'm of the kind that I don't need to see the work. I just need to see the answer.
You can give us the paper when we leave, which is still also useless.
Which I will have that to look at, but you can... You said he closed at 8:00.
Oh yeah,
so let's just land the plane.
Oh yeah, it's like 8:15 now, and I'm looking around and I'm thinking like apparently no one got the memo that the shop closes at 8.
I say there's like 5 other salesmen there
because there are very happy salesmen
and there
are very happy people
with smiles on their faces
that are literally like being ushered into the signing room. I'm like, that room is something we are never seeing, you know? And people are leaving with keys in their pockets.
And our paper here was not a map to the signing room.
And we're here looking at the CarFax for the damn trade-in, you know? So it's like this is when it starts boiling down. This is when Dad's on the phone with Mom. I'm getting just kind of anxious because it's going to be my car, and I don't know. I've never been a part of this process before. I go in the bathroom to pee, and at that point, when I come back out into his office, I see Dad, and Dad said, "Yeah, no go." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I thought." So we humor him for a little bit longer, and
he's not asking, "Can I have your business?"
He is not asking. We sat there for like an hour.
You guys can go home and think about
we
this
have
and
sat
let
here,
us know.
We have sat here for an hour for the financing, and we did not even talk about like we didn't even talk about anything.
We didn't. Yeah.
We didn't talk about how much we can all put down. We didn't. And he probably brought up 15 times. Well, I'm not sure because now remind me again. You guys want to co-sign this, right? I'm like, for the 30th time. Yes.
I'm just being realistic because just young people just usually don't have credit.
Oh my gosh. And then he's like, do you have credit? And I'm like, well, I'm not too familiar with credit, sir. And he said, huh.
I did fail to ask to have Mom look up your bureau or whatever.
Yeah, you freaking missed that one because
that one's on me.
Because I'm sitting there and I said, no, sir, I'm not too familiar with credit, but it's something I'm interested in learning about.
But they would find out if they would run your name.
And he smiles, leans back in his chair, and he's like, let me, previous
be a dad for
previous father to son. Now I think your father, your great father sitting right here, who lives here with you, would understand. Let me tell you something that you might not want to hear. And the moment, dude, when anybody says that,
bingo. I don't want to hear it.
When anybody starts something off with, let me tell you something that you might not want to hear, it's like you have to be an 8-pack having soccer coach to be the only person that I would actually want to hear what comes next. Like you would actually have to be someone of astronomical merit for me to be okay with you saying, "Hey, dumbass, let me tell you something." Right? C-3PO's like, "Let me tell you something that you might not want to hear," and a lot of kids your age are just kind of ignorant too. And hey, don't get mad at yourself. This is just what's called being young. I'm like, dude, I know I'm 21 years old, but I would like to think I'm a bit smarter than whoever whoever else you've had in here.
And I'm racking my brain for what is this amazing knowledge that you're going to embark on us? Like, what exactly are you going to say?
He says,
you don't want to hear this. I'm like, about what?
He's like,
I'm like, there's nothing like leading up to it.
I'm like, I cannot wait. He says, start using credit card. And I'm like, dude, I'm thinking in my head, like,
I'm like, oh, he's like, giving him tips to build his credit.
I'm like, dude, I know. When you asked me about credit, I said it's something I'd like to learn more about. Does that tell you that I don't want to learn? He's like, start using a credit card. And
it didn't mean that you had zero.
Yeah. And I said, and he was just like, I know you don't want to hear it. But I'm being honest. I'm being honest. And these are my least favorite kinds of sentences that come out of people's mouths. Is this kind of sentence that has this kind of cadence of like, I'm just being honest. I'm telling you something that's hard to hear now, but in 2 years you will thank me. That is such an easy way for me to hate you. He's like, get yourself some credit cards now. Now, only spend it on things you know. You are doing a job that YouTube could do in 5 minutes right now. And that's when he finishes, I made sure I put my hand up. I was like, let me say this. I am incredibly responsible. And this is something that has been on my mind for a long time.
Incredibly?
Incredibly, yeah.
Okay.
And what?
Go on.
What?
No, I heard incredibly.
Oh, yeah. Point out the wrong word pronunciation from the kid with the speech impediment. Yep. Low hanging fruit there.
No, it's not that you don't pronounce words or letters. You pronounce a lot of them.
Stop pronouncing.
You overpronounce.
I said, like I said, no, I am incredibly responsible. This is something that I've been wanting to learn about for a long time. And I'm kind of like defending myself. I'm like, dude, like what? I'm like, I'm not gonna, like, I don't like it when people do that. It's like, just assume I'm some sort of like Neanderthal or Becquerel layman, that's just like, dang, like what's the, and I just say,
how did we wrap it up?
Some just stuff. Or watch. And, and at this point now I'm pissed because he's sitting over there saying, you might not want to hear this now, but you're going to thank me in 5 years. Gosh, like you're not even going to be here for 5 years. Okay. Don't teach me about credit. So the numbers get done, dad's texting mom's telling dad, just pull it, just eject, Finally, we find the perfect pause in the conversation that no one wants to have. Dad goes, well, kind of doing that thing. Well, like once you get that well in there, then everyone knows that you're wrapping up, and it takes dad like 5 tries. The guy can hear as well as he can walk. So, dad finally gets us in out, and he goes, oh, before you leave, let me give you my business card. And I already have his business card because dad handed it to me off of his business card holder.
He stapled it to the sheet.
Well, hold on. He gets up and shoves his hand down into his front pocket and starts rummaging around. And I'm like, there is no way.
Oh,
he just has a loose paper business card in his hot, humid pants. Pulls out this like warm business card. I go out to grab it. He turns around, staples it to the. Great. So now that I can never carry that.
Now we got pocket sweat.
Yeah.
On the
So
paperwork.
he staples it all together. He hands it to us, and we're like, okay, all right, bye.
Yep,
He
bye,
starts.
We're out of here.
He starts walking us out, and he's and he's like, are you guys headed to dinner? And I just said, yeah. What? yeah.
Yes, we're going to dinner now.
Okay. Where? I'm like, I just looked across the street. I was like, Culver's.
Probably Culver's tonight.
He was like, what? Culver's. He's like, I know some pretty good spots around here if you want any recommendations. No, we're good.
He's from Florida.
No, what? I'm like, no.
He lives 10 miles away.
Like, I know what's here. He's like, oh, and like, I think whoever walked out last, we both completely got out before he even finished his last sentence. I'm like, stop. Like, where has this last bit of conversation ever been good? Like when has this ever not been awkward? When?
I was perfectly fine with, well, we'll see you later.
Yeah. Or just like, hey, are you guys going to dinner?
Earlier, you didn't want to be here any longer because you're going to close at 8 o'clock.
Dude, it's like 8:45 now.
Yeah.
And I would have even been fine with like are you guys going to dinner now? And I was like, yep, yeah, we are. Okay, we'll have fun. No,
that would have been
or like
a nice departure.
Where?
Or fast food to the left, and there's restaurants down to the right.
And that would have been too much, but like right on that line of like, okay.
All right.
Where? Oh, Culver's. What? Go. Dad and I finally get in the car.
They have some good food there.
Me and Dad were like, dude, we are this buddy of ours that referred us here. I am gonna make sure that dude is sad for a while. So
apparently he hasn't been here for some time.
So Dad and I luckily had a Culver's right across the street. We got there, parked, we went in and we drowned our sorrows in
decompressed
beautiful caramel less than asked for cookie dough, vanilla custard, and
start a whole nother conversation.
And cheese curds. Oh, episode 14 is literally called "I Have Beef with Culver's." The whole episode is about
that's right.
them not giving me enough cookie dough. So
I'd like extra cookie dough.
I asked for 3 extra cookie dough. I said 3 extra toppings worth of cookie dough.
You got half of the first.
And I get it, and I'm like, this is just a normal size of cookie. When I ask for 3 toppings worth of cookie dough, my mouth should feel like there are 3 toppings worth of cookie dough.
I should have to work through.
I've had it a couple times. Like Odin has graced the cup that giveth, and it was like I would put my spoon in, and not even the shovel would make it all the way down through the top layer of the ice cream. I'd be like, yes, and I'll pull out this giant chunk. I'm like, if this isn't what America fights for, then what the hell do we fight for?
Now, I was pleasantly surprised on my sprinkles because I said
extra sprinkles.
No, I just said I'd like extra sprinkles, and they dumped the part of the container on it.
Maybe you know what? Maybe I should just go and just say extra cookie dough. Because when I say
3 more pieces of cookie,
when I say 3 toppings worth of cookie dough, we all know what that's supposed to look like.
There should be 3 servings of cookie dough.
So I guess I should just say extra cookie dough, extra salted caramel.
That's it.
And then they ring me up.
Less is more.
I'll test that out because that made me that made me tighter than a rock climber's rope, brother. That really pissed me off, dude.
And for whatever it is, those kind of things are what send you through
Oh
the
my!
roof. I asked for extra ingredients, and I only got a little bit more.
And it's, dude, a fat dude can't feel good going back in. I asked for more cookie dough. Like really, I'm not gonna go back in there.
But it's the kind of anger like Putin would launch missiles over not getting enough.
I know. It's like, dude, I am already self-conscious that I'm eating ice cream. Do you really think I'm gonna go back in there and say, I asked for 2 extra toppings of cookie dough. Like I'm not gonna go in there and like be like the freaking like the fat black-haired Karen, be like, give me back my cookie dough. I have to go back to playing World of Warcraft. I don't want to be that guy because I've seen it like every single day. So I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna have to take it. I'm just gonna have to take the bullet. And yeah, and like what Dad said, the reason why it angers you so much. This is something I talk about a lot. The reason why it angers you so much is because it's such an unimportant, unnecessary, kind of gluttonous, thing that you're so mad at because it's so simple, and you get madder because you're mad at it.
But you have this vision in your head. I'm going to get this
holy grail of cookie dough
ingredients. It's going to taste awesome. We're going to drown out the whole 2.5 hours of the horrible car sales event. And you wait we waited a long time too, like 20 minutes or better to get our food. And you go take your first scoop and it's like, oh, dang it.
Like,
there's like nothing in here.
And it's like, I do not want to be the, I asked for extra cookie dough. I don't know.
Excuse me. Can I ask for extra?
Maybe that's just
me.
You
want your cookie dough?
Like, I am not socially awkward. Dad is, I am not. Yet we both have a problem with doing it. Like, it is not even the socially awkward part of it. It's just the fact that we're like, it's like that like, can I have some more?
I can't believe that I need to go tell them to put more cookie dough in.
I know. Oh my gosh. So that happens to me a lot, dude. Like, just those stupid little things. Gosh, that pisses me off, man.
Or
so yeah,
I'd like ketchup in the bag when I get it. Or when you go through the drive-through and you pull away and you're like,
there's one.
Oh, there's none.
Oh yeah.
Or just those little things.
Or they give. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah. Oh. The things that you can't pick off too. It's like I asked for no man.
I would get it myself if you had a container there.
I asked for more. I asked for no mayonnaise. It's not really something that you can just pick off.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So, we did not get the car. We did not leave there with a car. We left there in the 150,000 mile 2017 vehicle, which halfway through the drive back home had the check engine light turn on, which was the most poetic thing I've ever seen. Yeah, it's oh my gosh. And you know it's bad when it's making mom laugh too. Because now she's not mad anymore, because she usually is when these things start. And she's just laughing. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. So we aren't the crazy ones. Man. So we are still looking for a new car. In fact, we think we've got one now. So hopefully
not
all
from
of that.
them.
Yeah, not from them.
Mm-mm.
So hopefully that all gets figured out soon. Pretty excited to have a car that's not going to fall apart. Plus, like, when I drive to work, it's 35 there, 45 back on a highway every single day, Monday through Friday. I mean, the minivan, she is holding on by a couple pieces of tape right now. So, yeah, no, I am pretty excited. So, yeah. We've been recorded for like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Because we had a lot to complain about.
We did. Yes, we did.
Stupid car sales.
Yes, we did.
Or non-sale.
Yeah, like that is so crazy.
That's the true to form. That is 2.5 hours of my life I will never get back.
Yeah.
But it did teach us a lesson.
Like, and it's not even like it's okay to leave a dealership without a car, but you leave with crucial info. You leave with options, you leave with numbers, you leave with something that takes you to the next step. I think that's the first time in history that car dealership has seen someone leave with literally nothing gained at all. Maybe that's not their first time, because it seems like that dude's been there for. It looks like that dude was born there. That dude looks like he played beach volleyball with Henry Ford himself. So, yeah, we are gonna tell our buddy, dude, you are sick in the head. You are sick in the head. You know that?
Was this a joke? Did you scam? Did you spoof me?
Like, you did this on purpose, right?
Are you and your wife are sitting there laughing about it?
You sent us there on purpose. Tell us you did. Tell us. We know you did.
That's the last time they'll call us for any advice.
Oh, man. So, yeah. So, I have other topics, but it's really nothing.
What great bonding time we had, and
what
allowed us to
crying
ultimate story to tell.
Oh, I mean, yeah, good. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've said this on the podcast previously. I've said this to people in my life at work. My life has turned into anything that happens to me, it doesn't bother me, because all I think is podcast.
You can say or do whatever you want.
Podcast.
But in the end, I win, because it becomes a story on the podcast.
Yep, absolutely. The only other topics I had for this week were the Amy Winehouse movie I saw like 3 weeks ago, and my new DJing endeavors. We could talk about. So Dad got here on Sunday, and I do an open mic on Sunday at a local kava bar. Pretty small joint, I mean, I would like to think I run it well enough with the space I'm provided with, and it was actually my first time using my actual DJ deck. And it went really well, but we had like 3 people sign up, so it was mostly me.
Mainly you DJing.
It was mostly
the whole time.
me DJing, which was great practice, and
it actually worked out well.
Yeah,
seriously, it was the first night you carried that,
and it
could have been like 15 people sign up.
I would really rather DJ at like there than like somewhere else, just because I know how little people are going to be there. Not because of the merit of the place, purely just because of the size. But no, man, like I've been DJing a lot recently. It's something that I accidentally started doing, and I did one DJ gig at Legacy Kava, which is a brand new kava bar here in Orlando. Good friends with the guy who runs it. And, he saw me doing the open mic one night. He's like, hey, come and DJ. And I've never actually just DJ'd, but I thought to myself, I'm like, but I'm DJing in between people performing. And everyone loves it. Like, people will ask me how long I've been DJing, this and that. And it's like, well, 3 weeks now, So I went and did the gig at Legacy Kava. I made a couple good contacts with some reps from Mitra, and the gigs just kept coming. And just last night, I got messaged by those same Mitra reps for me to DJ her husband's birthday, and I'm like, yeah, as like go DJ in freaking Melbourne. That sounds awesome. So, I am really excited about that. I've been picking up more and more gigs. I'm trying to do more. It's kind of perfect, because I don't really care for performing a whole lot right now, but what's nice about DJing is it takes my favorite part about music and my least favorite part about the music scene and just makes it work. So like I love playing music that people like. I love playing music that no one's heard that they end up liking. It's a really great feeling when you're like playing when you're DJing and you transition into a song and half of the room's like, oh yeah, like that is such, especially when you're doing like all like Latin music, when you like transition into like that month's hit reggaeton song and half of the people are like yeah, and everyone gets up and starts dancing. It is great. And then my least favorite part of the music scene is the social part of it, where it's like, I'm an artist, I've been like, like rapping and stuff and like performing like big shows. Like I headlined a concert last week. It was at Little Man Grumpy's Underground Comedy, I headlined for my boy Big DD Flipper. What? And yeah, just kind of like this is my life, and like no one understands art like I do. The moment I've been through more of those conversations than I've stuttered in one sentence. Like I cannot keep having those conversations with people. It is like one of the things that has driven me away from enjoying being at live events and conferences and all this, because I can't. It makes me so unhappy being around all of these self-aggrandizing, vanity fetishizing people who all care about how people think they look and what people think they do just from social media posts. DJing lets me avoid all of that. There are DJs who are more, like personality driven, but I mean, look, if this thing turns out to be something pretty lucrative, cool. But I'm really happy right now with it and how I'm performing and no one's paying attention. Perfect. That is like the perfect blend. Like I get to just play songs, transition. The people who care will listen. The people who don't care won't. And I can just be hidden behind the turntables and make people move. Like that is the perfect combo of everything. No one's watching me. There is no attention. It's perfect. And that's why I think I've really liked doing it now. And I've done a couple gigs now, and those gigs are getting me more gigs from places that are not even kava bars, like the pizza place right next to Elevate. I stopped by there. Hey, you're the you DJ for kava bars, right? I was like, yeah. They're like,
not
okay.
Just specifically, but yeah.
I mean, I was like, I could do pizza places too. He was like, okay, here, let me give you a pen. Write down your email and contact. We might have some events for you soon. I'm like, well, yeah, like it's been going pretty well. So yeah. Is there anything you want to talk about, Dan? Anything on your mind?
Actually, there is.
Hit me.
I was thinking about this, looking at the wall, and I remember you talking about, you're decorating.
Yeah.
What if you made the back wall a green screen?
Okay.
And you could have Evan you could reenact different movies and stuff, and Evan can play MCU movies or something. You can pretend to be different, be in different scenes.
I couldn't even come up with where that thought would have come from.
I don't know.
I was with you until you.
I'm thinking of Whose Line Is It Anyway kind of thing, where they would, put Colin Mockery in front of the green screen and would do stuff, and he wouldn't know what's behind him.
Yeah,
Apparently it's more of a mature.
We will pin that. We'll put a pin in it. No, I'm not going to do that. I think what I want to do with the back wall is just decorate. I want to find a way to make it. I want to really replicate a cafe. I want to get the set, and even if it's like I'm not trying to
green screen, and then you could make it like a different cafe each week.
No,
like one in Paris, one in London. That's awesome.
Pin. No, something that's like standard, something that's on brand, something that's recognizable. Like the
a kava bar,
like the Bad Friends podcast. With Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino. Like their set is like shelves of weird wacky stuff and like photos of Bobby Lee, but as like an ancient Mongolian emperor and stuff like that, and shelves with merch on it. Like it's just kind of like a bunch of stuff, but it's recognizable. Like the posters.
But they got like a studio.
Yeah, exactly. I want to make a set. I want to make a studio. I want to make a studio set. Yeah. Like the posters were cool, but they were all of other people. It wasn't really mathed out. It was I just kind of put one square poster here, and it's like, okay, I can fill up the space on the left if I put this one there. It's not that I want things to be symmetrical, but I do want to have some uniformity to it. So I'm gonna figure that out. I'm gonna see what I want to do with that.
So blank is better
than recreating the MCU's Loki television with just myself in front with the couch here. Yeah, it is. And I don't even know how Evan would.
I think Evan would dig it.
Evan, personally text my dad afterwards after you edit this and tell him that that's a bad idea. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is.
So that's going to be a wrap.
Yeah, whippy, yeah, real high flying ending there.
No more ideas from
Too
Dad.
bad. You know what? The podcast is done. I'm dissolving the brand. 2 bad ideas, but 1 good little kitty. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Larry to the family. Switch to the video so you can see Larry. Look, he looks like a dude in a suit.
Do you want me to clap?
No, hold on. So yeah, look at.
Oh, yay, Larry spoke.
Amen, Larry. Amen.
Awesome.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping by the Something Cafe. You can listen to the Something Cafe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio.
None of them have green screen.
None of them have green screen and never will. And you can watch the podcast on YouTube, and you can also watch it on Spotify. Did you know that? You can watch the video on Spotify.
Apparently no green screen there either.
And there will be no green screen. Forget about the green screen. And you can find merch on the links below. Find links in the description of the video, of the episode. And Dad, you have any final words that have nothing to do with the green screen?
I'll say you're going out on a limb there.
Yeah.
Nope. Thank you for my Father's Day. Happy Father's Day for everybody else that's out there. Happy Father's Day to Grandpa and Grandpa.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping by the Something Cafe. Thanks for grabbing a cup, and we will see you later. Peace.